Good evening, friends, followers, and channel members. Welcome to this Mexico special where we're going to be going to check out the upcoming series from Mako Simulations' brand new Cancun airport. So we're going on holiday today, something very nice, in a completely foreign neck of the woods for myself. I don't know if anyone in the channel has flown from Guatemala before. The fact that it's at 5,000 feet above sea level is the first thing that kind of piques my interest here. It'll be interesting to see how that goes with the takeoff roll, etc. We'll also see how SimSmart handles that as well in a little while. So Guatemala to Cancun. Looking forward to checking that out. A completely different neck of the woods for us, and yeah, always nice to see something new and check out a different part of the world other than Europe. So a welcome on board to everyone who is already in the chat. BCrawley57 on Twitch, hello, and we've got Dark Fury, Brian Crawley, also on YouTube as well. Barry Bartson, Klaus Kroner, Alan, good evening. Ryan, Daniel Rubble, hello. Christian, good evening to you. Dr. Magic Ace Airstream just coming into Ibiza. It's quite windy in Ibiza tonight, isn't it? As memory serves, I remember checking out some weather for different places a little bit earlier on, and I thought, oh, Ibiza could be interesting this evening. Mind you, that was this morning I checked it out, so things could have changed since then. Peter Scarab, hello mate, hope you're well. Barry Bartson, your sim's loading so slow. And Christian, yeah, it seems like these default jetway operators are pretty rubbish. I was quite enjoying we've got some sort of Latin American flavoured soundtrack for this stream this evening, so something to something different. Dr. Magic, Cancun is an interesting choice from Mako. Well, the great thing is, of course, there's so many airports in the world, and the amount of mods that are coming out for them, of course, is huge now. So it's nice not to get duplicates, which I expect one day it is obviously going to happen if it hasn't happened already. But not duplicating something that's already been done, that's going to be tough as the simulator grows. I'm just setting things up here. I've lost my pen. That's definitely not what you want. Strange part of the world. I want to be able to write stuff down as we're going. We are on VATSIM as well, so strange part of the world and on VATSIM, so double fun. Although, even though we're on VATSIM, there's no air traffic control, but never mind. Randall422, good afternoon, evening to you as well. So, because we are, of course, in Guatemala to depart, we are on live time and live weather. So, yeah, obviously live weather as always, but live time means evening here in the UK for us, and obviously bright blue skies. And I'm just having a look at the terrain that we've got around here in Guatemala. Let's just have a quick look, shall we? Because we might as well enjoy the scenery. Look at that American Airlines retrojet. But yeah, we've got some scenery, well, some terrain rather, around us. It's going to be really nice. We've obviously got various world updates over the last few months, but it's going to be nice, I think, when sort of Latin America and some of the forgotten places get some nice scenery. Not that it's not good anyway, just the general quality of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But yeah, I think it's going to be really nice when well, actually, it's going to be really nice when the entire world's done, isn't it? When we can get the same sort of level of detail that we've just seen recently in Spain, and that going forward. Holger loved the bossa nova during the waiting. Yeah, it was a nice little bossa nova rhythm going off underneath, wasn't it? AC Stream says that Ibiza wins. Oh, that's much easier, isn't it? 7 knots. That's nothing. Christian, the dark cloud in the back looks dangerous. Do you know what? I'm completely disorientated with where we're going. I'm unfamiliar with where we are. So let's get on board, get our bearings, and see if we're going to be flying towards that black cloud or not. Oh, I've just heard there's the Mexican fiesta music kicking in at the background. Peter Scarrett, you've been a member for 3 months. 3 months. Thank you so much for your continued support during that time, Peter. It's felt longer. Is that good or bad? Right. PK Virtual Sky Tours. I am indeed at Leora, however you pronounce that. Let's get on board. I might not talk during the setup. I might just listen to the soundtrack. We have got the airport, we've got the aircraft then set up in its turnaround state. Fantastic that we can just press a button and that's all done now, thanks to the new new flypad and features on there. Operational flight plan has been pinned. If we just want to take a quick look at that, what fuel are we going to take with us today? Right, so plug fuel is just over 5.5 tons. We've got a slight tailwind of 5. What's our payload today? Oh, it's about 17.5 tons. So, looking at this Mora, look how high it is on the departure. So high. After that though, we're good. So we've got ILS for our arrival as well. Alternate, no idea where that is by the way, but the alternate is a nice RNAV approach. All novice pilot, can't you just play Jurassic Park as background moves? Yeah, no, I can't play Jurassic Park. I'd get sued by John Williams' estate. Let's check out what's happening with the forecast in Cancun. Now, bear in mind, American METARs slightly different to the ones we get here in Europe, so I do have to think about decoding these somewhat. So the flight plan was created about 2-3 hours ago looking at this, so that's probably not current. We'll get the latest METAR anyway in a moment. But the forecast, of course, yeah, so that's valid. Potential gusts up to 25 knots. Yeah, so that would be around about now. Okay, so it's a little bit windy. Oh no, that's the forecast. We'll go get the actual METAR in a moment. It has the potential to be a little bit windy. If we have a look at the SIGMET, then there's nothing there to worry us in terms of turbulence. Let's see then. I'm going to grab the current METAR. We've got just over 5.5 tons of our plug. What's our current METAR there? We've got 130 at 17, and we're planning on landing runway 12. So could be a little windy getting in, but other than that, you shouldn't stop us getting in. Fuel wise, where are we? Let's load, what was our operational flight plan fuel? Plug fuel. The plan block is, alright, let's call it 6 tons. 6 tons and we're happy. Thank you, Mr. Refuelers. And that's underway. Great stuff. Right, let's get the... oh, the APU's already started. I like that. The APU's already started, so we can start getting passengers on board nice and early. Is this is the self-loading cargo a mariachi band? That's the phrase I was trying to think of earlier when we heard the trumpets screaming away in the background. For some reason my McDo server's not working today, so it says the port must be busy, but there you go. Sounds like someone's slurping a slushie in the background at the start of that track. Yeah, so we're going to have to do this all by hand. Let's just go ahead and load the passenger weights in then. And then we can start getting passengers boarded as well. So, 169 passengers. We need the packs on as well, of course, for that. William, you know, if you click the little cloud symbol next to the fuel input, it takes the value off the flight plan for you. Yes, I do know that, William, but I never want to take plug fuel. No pilot ever takes plug fuel. Ever. Or it's certainly very, very rare. Anthony, where did I get the self-loading cargo EasyJet sounds from? It's kind of a pack that I put together, really. So... let's check everything out. We've got IRS, we've got 3 nav green, and aircraft status is valid LEAP engines and AIRAC cycle. Okay, in A. Danny, you think I'm going to switch the music once we get going? Oh, I don't know. Nice to have a little different flavour. Cost index of 26. Let's go ahead and set all this up then. So, cost index of 26. I've just realised I can't do that as I'm... every time I click on the sim now, this window's going to disappear. Let's check what we got. Tropo 54809. And what was the temperature? I have given you guys the operational flight plan, I think, haven't I? Temperature is minus 55. Okay, on to the flight plan then. So we're going to be departing today, runway 20. I'm just going to check actually that the current METAR still calls for runway 20. Yeah, 180 at 12. Okay, runway 20. And the SID is the bottom one, Vilda. Vilda 1, not Vilda 2. And that goes via Alpha Uniform Romeo. That's the transition. Insert. Check what we've got here. Good, we've got no discontinuities there. Let's pop the arrival in then. We're planning runway 12 right. Now, I need to make sure I get the correct one for this because there are a couple. And the one that I want is the number 4, ILS DME Lock 4 for runway 12 right. ILS 12 right, 010204. That's the one, and that comes in on the Paula 1 Golf arrival. And the VIA for us is EBMIS, I believe. EBMIS. And insert all that. That gives us a distance of 554 miles. I got 543 miles on the flight plan, so that all looks good. Quick check on here to see what's happening with the departure. That looks odd. That looks very odd. What's going on here then? Let me just bring this up and see. Oh, actually, that is right. So this is strange. We get taken out to Vilda, and then we spin ourselves back around over the airfield for the Aurora transition. So, yeah, it's just the way that's drawn, that routing. But that is correct. Let's just zoom out and check the arrival. Yep, and that looks spot on as well. Lots of constraints coming in as well, so VNAV should be fun today. Dark says you may need to add the waypoints in for the star. I'll double check that. So we've got Vilda, which is the overfly point, then Alpha Uniform Romeo, and then Ridem. So yeah, that's fine. We've got Vilda, Alpha Uniform Romeo, and then we're off. That's it. Very short start. Just making sure there's no duplicates. And that's it. Okay, happy with that. Let's get that back in the ARC mode. RadNav page. We've got the Alpha Uniform Romeo VOR. So we'll get that in. Onto the init B page then. We have a 0 fuel weight and 0 fuel weight CFG. 60.1 is our 0 fuel weight today. Let's get that entered. A trip wind, a slight tailwind of 5. And fuel planning says 5.4. We've got 6. Wish the APU would burn some fuel. Right, and that gives us a takeoff weight then of 66. Fuel for the alternate is called at 1.5 tons, which means we've then got 11 minutes extra flight time. There we go. Right, onto the performance page then. Let's see how SimSmart handles a different airport for a change. So, where are we? Mike, Golf, Golf, Tango. And we're departing runway 20. Grab the METAR. 18012. altimeter altimeter is 3009. Dry, anti-ice will be off. Takeoff weight was 66. CFG is forward. Flex config 1. Now we're so high up, so will it allow it? It will. So our thrust reduction acceleration values are 5952 because we are so high up. Let's have a look here. So what was that? V1 is 148, 148, 149. There we go. Transition altitude is correct at 19,000. I don't know of anywhere that is as high as that. Thrust reduction acceleration is 5952. 5952. And engine out acceleration also will change to the same value. 5952. Flaps 1, and what was that flex again? 68. There we go. Liam plays games. SimSmart isn't public yet, right? No, it's not, but it will be for hopefully by the end of this week. Hey, HD, is that flex correct? Well, I did wonder, considering how high up we are. What are we? What's our airfield elevation? Is it 5,000 feet? Oh, very close. Very close to 5,000 feet. So, must admit, we've not experimented too much with airfields that are quite so high. So, is that flex correct? I guess HD, you'd be able to tell me more than I can. Jayhawk, good evening. I would wonder as well. Max Flex. Ah, right. Okay. HD Max Flex temp has not yet been coded in. Guess what he's doing tonight? So we've got it in there, but we've not got the maximum flex temp coded in yet. So that'll be sorted before release. Good job, we did the stream actually, as it flags up a potential issue. ISA at 5,000 feet. Oh, don't make me think. 15, 13, 11, 9, 7? Is it 7 degrees? 7 plus 55. So that's going to be 63, is it? Should we dump it at 63? Yeah, why not? You're making me do mental math at this time of night after a hard day. What would be interesting, is it 5? Let's change it to 60. What would be interesting then is, once those calculations are in, to come back to this stream and then run SimSmart along the side of it to see if it makes sure that we get the we get that max flex in. So that's all sorted. Passengers are still loading. Peter, is it just you, but sudden SimSmart auto update? If an update has been pushed, yes it will. So you should be, if you've got access to the beta version, you should be on version 1.0.26. Right, so that's all done. Last few passengers are loading on. Let's do a departure brief, which we need to be a little bit thorough here because I've no idea where we are in the world. We are parked at stand 13. We're going to push back. We're going to face south. And then we're going to taxi and use the full length of the runway for departure. So we're going to push back facing south. And we are then going to taxi out on Uniform and Yankee. And we're going to do a full length departure. Yeah, there you go. Elevation 4,952. On the departure then, it's a nice straight out departure, straight out and then a slight left turn. But this is the interesting bit, look, which is why the flight plan might not look exactly accurate. So from over Vilda or reaching 9,000 feet, whichever occurs first, turn left direct back to the Aura VOR. So it's either Vilda or 9,000 feet. So we can potentially almost we may even hand fly this this departure, depending on what's going on with the coding. We want to be 9,000 feet at Vilda, and then we want to be at 12,000 feet, at or above 12,000 feet at Aura. So let's go ahead and set 12,000 up there. Good. I think we're all set. If we had an engine failure after V1, now we don't have engine out procedures here for this neck of the woods, but I would suspect we would continue to do something very, very similar anyway, and head back to a safe altitude above the runway. So yeah, that would be my plan. Anyway, that's that done. And I think all the passengers are boarded now as well.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
That's great, thank you.
This music's gone a little bit off-piste for a Latin American theme, don't you think? Right, everything is good, everything's looking normal. Let's do our before start checklist to the line. So cockpit prep is complete, signs are on and auto it is. We've got 3.5 green, that fuel quantity is 6 tons and checked. Altimeter is 3015 and that's showing 5,000 feet. Let's just check that latest altimeter. I don't know if this auto updates, by the way. It's now 3009, so let's go ahead and change that. Which means 3009, 4,940, which means oh, that was okay. That's done it at the correct one. Phew! I thought I was going to run the performance calculations again. Great stuff. Let's bring the ground crew into action, shall we? We'll pre-plan our pushback. Sarkotech, you don't understand how you check your flex temp. Well, when the final little bit of coding's been written in regarding maximum oh, hang on, let me just sort this. Regarding maximum flex temps allowed, then you won't need to worry about it. And really, it's only come up here today because of the altitude of our airport. Had we just been in Europe at a normal sort of airport, it probably wouldn't have mattered so much. There we go. That's that done. Just checking that we've still no ATC. No. So let's request our push.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this EasyJet aircraft as you settle in for what we hope is going to be a most enjoyable flight. The weather today doesn't look to be posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride for you throughout the duration of the flight. And as the cabin crew continue making their last preparations, please assist them by getting yourselves sat down, your seatbelts fastened, and make yourselves nice and comfortable. The ground crew have now finished loading the aircraft, and we're just about finished with all our pre-flight checks.
Guatemala traffic, Valaris 210, pushing back from stand 13 facing south.
Attention as they go through the safety briefing, very much appreciated. So on behalf of myself and the first officer,
Nozzle stream disconnected, it's in the green.
for choosing EasyJet today,
transponder standby, and release the parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay, back we go, and starting engine 1. So engine mode selected to ignition, engine 1 start. Oh, that's interesting. Has he just given us a push and we're just rolling backwards of our own accord? Dark Fury, is that you in the American? When did America fly that livery?
Ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your
Guatemala
own mask
traffic,
before
American
helping others.
1549, stand 10.
If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head.
Oh, Dark Fury's going to get in front of me.
Waist. Together. And pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
Okay, so why are we going forward? Something's gone very wrong here with the tug, hasn't it? Let me see. Have we still got nose wheel steering disconnected? Right, tell you what. Stop the pushback. Will that work? No, we're still moving forward. Right, shut that down. Let me see if I can bring another app in to help us here. Oh, hang on. There we go. We've managed to get rid of the phantom tug. Nose wheel steering is now working again. Parking brake is set. And the tug is over there where he belongs. Good. All right, we've got a good engine start on 1 and 2. Let's do our after start flows then, shall we? So engine start to normal. APU bleed off. APU masters on. Best not forget to put the bleed air off back on today after takeoff. And spoilers rudder flaps 1. And set the flex. Not the flex. I've got flex on the brain after the calculations at the start. Alright, after start checklist. So anti-ice is indeed off, especially in these temperatures. The ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is 25, rudder trim is 0. We'll do a flight control check as well. Full left. Full right. Neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. And as I don't know the airport, I'm going to configure as much as I can whilst we're here, so I can concentrate on where we're going. And looks like we're following the Americans. So, Guatemala traffic, Valeris 210 will be taxiing on Uniform Yankee to holding point runway 20, following the Dark American. Jenny thought the airport must be haunted with all these phantom tugs. Yeah. It happens, doesn't it, occasionally? And I don't think airport scenery has anything to do with it either. I think it's just one of those things. Tell you one thing I didn't see, and I should have probably checked for a little more, and that's on this departure. Any speed restrictions or anything? Just because the departures here in America just don't seem to, the charts don't seem to be quite as laden with information. You have to go hunting for it a little bit more. But yeah, I don't I don't see any speed restrictions there, so I think we're good. So now we're just waiting for Dark Fury to start moving.
Guatemala traffic, American 1549, taxi by Uniform and Yankee runway 20.
Right, good stuff. He's ready to go. So let's follow, shall we? Okay, so the PEDs check. No change to the performance. QNH 3009, flex 60. Engine out procedure, we're just going to follow the exact same standard instrument departure. Get us in a hold over the airport at 12,000 feet. The departure is the Vilda departure with the Aura transition, and our initial climb is to an altitude of 12,000. Hey Matt Warren, hope you're well. So we'll get on the straight taxiway, Yankeeing back towards our departure runway, and then I shall endeavour to run the before takeoff checks. Jedis thought, don't joke about going on the grass. We did that yesterday, involuntarily I might add. I attempted the single engine taxiing and something went very wrong. Alright, before takeoff checklist to the line. Flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Just remembering that we make a turn back to the Aura transition at 9,000 feet. Flap setting is config 1 FMA. Takeoff data is 148 blue, 149 magenta, climb nav blue, 152, 12,000 blue, and flex 60. Transponder is set, eco memo, takeoff no blue, AFB is stowed. Christian, I could pull off Harrison Ford and depart on the taxiway. Didn't he land on a taxiway? Surely he never took off on one. I mean, that is grounds for losing your license. Mind you, I'm sure landing on the taxiway is quite high up there. HD, you're shattered after a long day at work. Excellent. We're glad you're working, that's the main thing. I could fly inverted and you probably wouldn't notice. You're not making any bets today. Yeah, well, you were still awake enough to pick up on the flex temp.
Guatemala traffic, American 1549, line runway 20.
Doc, have you got an elephant in the flight deck with you, or is that just your little one? Matt, yeah, he definitely landed on a taxiway. Sure he didn't depart on one.
Guatemala 1250 Varia 027, expect a VOR approach runway 20, descending to 5,400 feet. 10 miles inbound, attack.
10 mile inbound. And I've got to leave 2 minutes for separation of Dark departing. So, has he gone? PK Visual Sky Tours, I think Guatemala traffic, you're not, because you're on Unicom, you're not specifically targeting this airport, you're talking to traffic around all of Guatemala, so that's why people on Unicom will refer to it as Guatemala traffic.
Guatemala traffic, American 1549, departing runway 20 on the Bell departure.
And goodbye, Dark Fury. Now, if I get TCAS on, can we see, was there traffic around us? Yeah, there, depending on which way this traffic's proceeding. Is that Dark Fury or is that, yeah, that's Dark Fury, and I can't actually see any other traffic ahead of, I can see one just there. So, I need about 9.5 minutes on here. I reckon we can get out in time. Although, how far away is he? 18 miles. Oh, loads of time. Loads of time. Let's get the lights on, get ourselves lined up. Guatemala traffic, Volaris 210, lining up runway 20 for at La Aurora and departing on the Vilda departure. Get the packs off as well whilst we're turning onto the runway. PK, we're absolutely departing south with the winds that we've got. You can see the windsock. And yeah, there's the terrain that you're not allowed to hit. It's bad for the airline's image. So I need 10 minutes and 30 seconds on there. I didn't restart a time. I just had a quick look when he departed, Dark Fury. But we're now sat waiting. So before takeoff, checklist blurred line. Cabin is secured. Engine mode selector is normal. TCAS, TARA packs are off. Anti-ice is off. Brian, you wonder if they need thicker windsocks in thin air. I think they're amazing, the fact that they blow at different speeds. The different bands let you know how strong the winds are. I think that's very, very clever. Alright, let's go. And Guatemala traffic, Volaris 210, departing runway 20 now, rolling on the Vilda departure. Okay, start the chrono and set 50% M1. Flex. SRS. Checked. V1 and rotate. Nav. So we're going to hand fly this for the moment. Set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Climb. Once we reach 9,000 feet, we're going to turn back round. It's awesome, isn't it? Can't spend too much time sightseeing though, I'm afraid. Okay, let's clean her up. So I'm following the flight directors for the moment. Still manually flying.
Guatemala traffic area 027 heavy, final runway 20.
Iberia 7, did you say 747 heavy? Or 727 heavy? Okay, good. Reaching 250 knots. We'll lift that nose and that'll increase the rate of climb. Air temperature is good. Just checking that cloud layer in case we need some anti-ice. Okay, I'm going to clear us up to flight level 20. We're now at 9,000 feet, so I'm going to make a left-hand turn. I'm going to start that left-hand turn, then I'm going to tell us to go direct to Aora. And we're just lowering the nose slightly to level off here. Lights can come off. This is the longest I've ever hand flown a departure, I think. HD would be having kittens by now. Okay, so what I might do is I'm going to pop that into heading mode. Just because we know it doesn't do directs all too well. Okay, happy with that heading mode, and we're going to engage autopilot 1. Oh, and relax. Autopilot 1 engaged. We're in open climb mode, of course, because when I pulled heading, we came out of climb.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on.
This is
We
stunning,
recommend
isn't it?
Keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time.
Guatemala traffic.
Hate to
Heavy located runway 20.
hate to admit this, but I was thinking just the exact same as what HD said there. How can you enjoy that beautiful view when you're hand flying? Get autopilot on. Right, I'm just going to see if we can go back direct to or from our present position. There we go. Now we're back in nav mode. Flight level 390 is unavailable to us at the minute, so we're going to go flight level 37. 370 blue. HD, the heading knob needs some WD-40. that's the squeaky mouse, the real one. And as we get through this, I think we can turn the seatbelt signs off. What a glorious departure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off
Wow,
the
that's
seatbelt
purple.
sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
It is nice. It's really nice flying somewhere that looks completely different, a completely different landscape, somewhere you've never been before as well. It means you have to think a little bit too. Christian, good question, but I think the... so Christian says, you wonder what has the bigger impact on takeoff on higher altitudes? Is it the fact the aircraft has it easier to accelerate because of less dense air, or that the engines won't be given as much thrust? I think it's the engines don't get as much thrust because of the less dense air. The takeoff roll felt much more sluggish compared to... the usual low-level altitudes that we depart from in Europe. Quick quiz from HD. If you're pulling a heading, then rotate the heading bug 270. Will the aircraft reverse its turn or keep the turn going in the initial direction? If that makes sense. It keeps it going in the initial direction. The way you turn the heading bug should dictate whether you want to go left or whether you want to go right. Matt says that you two like to use random flight plan generators just to explore places that you may not do otherwise. Scott Franks, good evening to you. Dark Fury says it depends how quick you turn it. Seeing a little bit of turbulence over these bumps. Andrew Gimmel, using the EasyJet flight plan format on SimBrief, how do you find out the number of passengers? You can't. It doesn't tell you. Lots of different answers to HD's quiz question. So if you are heading north, then turn right onto a heading 270. Will it keep going right, or will it turn back left when the heading bug has less degrees left to turn? Yeah, we know what you mean, HD. No, it'll keep going in the same direction. Because sometimes you have to turn left, but all the way around, sort of like a 3/4 of a circle around, which is why air traffic control can say turn left heading blah blah blah, and you then, regardless of what he's told you, you spin the heading bug left. I've not tested it in the fly-by-wire. PK says it will bank the other way. Always close. No one's agreeing with me here. I don't think I've seen anyone in the chat agree with me. Flight Plane says, hi all, I'm learning the Airbus, having spent many years on the Boeing and X-Plane, so always good to watch the channel and see the comments. Flight Planes, welcome on board. Christian says, if it keeps it, the next question is, does the fly-by-wire do this as well? Oh, I get the gold star. HT says, yeah, it keeps on going in the initial direction even if you turned it a full 360 degrees. Oh wow, look at that. That is neat, isn't it? Very neat. Look at the terrain beneath us as well. And it's weird to see such high terrain without snow on the top. AP Travels asks, what is the one thing you prefer about the Airbus compared to the 737? Oh, where do you want me to start? It's simplicity. I think simplicity has to be right up there. Oriel Pilot, the flight's going very well, thank you. 9,000 feet to go will be our top of climb. Barry says that Nick is right, it doesn't do that. Well, interestingly enough, we may get a chance to find out. I can see Dark Fury, is that you behind me? Currently about 20 miles from Redem. Is that you? You're 7,000 feet above us. Do you fancy making a 360? And seeing if the aircraft goes the entire way around it? I'd do it, but I'd probably crash into you. Oh, it is me. I've just seen your comment, Dark. That is me in front of you. A nice Nick manoeuvre there. Yes, indeed. Be more like Nick. Looking forward to getting to Cancun and seeing the brand new airport soon to be released. Disclaimer as well, not all of the airport is completely finished, so if you see something that looks a bit off, it's still a work in progress to be released soon. Matt, you recently learned this fun fact today. Apparently after starting the APU, it's smart not to turn on the APU bleed for 3 minutes. 3 minutes? I thought it was at least 1 minute. Danny says, so Dark Fury is 7,000 feet above us. How did he manage to get so high already? Well, probably because he was headed towards that great big mountain and pulled up. HT says, if I do it in nav mode on the navigation display, so you can see the heading would go all of the way around. Yeah, I think if I did that, I do risk a TCAS with Dark Fury. That's the problem. Christian, yeah, that's how you get in front of others. You just have to convince them to do a 360 manoeuvre. And if anyone's, in case anyone's wondering, I threw the mariachi band off at the gate. That was doing my nuttings. So we've now just got the classical pianist. Weather looks nice anyway, doesn't it? Oh, gorgeous view down there. Look at that. I am going to have to try that. I might try that tomorrow. The 360, see if it works. Unless anyone's in the sim now and fancies doing it. PK says, you're not sure, maybe the fly-by-wire aircraft does as we're saying, but in your experience in the past, it tells you otherwise. I think it depends how well you've got how well the simulator has coded it, of course. But I guarantee that's what it does. With K, good evening to you. Flight's going very well. If you are enjoying the stream, of course, so far, please do hit that like button. It helps other people find the stream whilst we're still flying. Invite them on board at 34,000 feet. Thank you to Chuck for subscribing as well. Barry says you are in the sim, but you don't think ATC will like it. VATSIM or Microsoft Default? No one cares about Microsoft Default. Judges saw you had a weird thing the other day, guessing you need to update your liveries, but outside the plane was a massive blue, red and green flat image sticking out of the plane. No, nothing wrong with the liveries, that's the Twilight Zone. You found it. ODG, does EasyJet have a service in Central America now? No, absolutely not. On our special flights, we fly local airlines. This is a real-world route as well, guys. Real-world route that Volaris flies between Guatemala and Cancun. Oh, Barry, you're on VATSIM. Yeah, don't do a 360 then. Christopher Shaw, good evening to you. Hope you're well. We'll be back in the EasyJet Orange soon, I guarantee. PK, thanks for being on board, mate. Cancun was your home at an early age. Oh, you have to come back and watch the landing then, see, and the airport, see if it brings back any memories as we fly over that. With K, do I have Train Simulator World 2? No. No. Flight planes? No, I'm just a geek. A well-informed geek. HD, if you prefix any air traffic control call with for training, for the purposes of training, then you can get away with doing anything. Not always, though. Which flight was it? And it was Airbus, wasn't it? I want to say something like Excel Aviation. I'm not sure if that's right. They wanted to do a load of tests and ATC said no. They went ahead and tried to complete them on the fly as they were returning home, and it didn't end well, sadly for them. That's going to bug me now which airline that was. HD will remember it, someone else can Google it. Jayhawk ETA is in around about an hour's time. And the ETA on the beer is in around about an hour and 5 minutes. Do like that livery. Danny says, is anyone watching the Netherlands and Germany in the back by any chance? It's an entertaining match. I forgot there's internationals tonight. Matt and the Discord server, they are in the pilot's briefing room. HD, yeah, that's the one. The angle of attack probe freezing. It was Air New Zealand that were taking it on a test flight after it had been leased out to someone like Excel Aviation or something like that. And yeah, they were basically testing it out prior to going back to Air New Zealand. Right, we're now at flight level 370. Can we get up to our cruise of 39? We'll get out of Dark's way then. Thrust climb, open climb, 390 blue. Barry, you're still about 2 hours from the top of the descent in German airspace. They are not the most easygoing. Oh, they're very efficient, Barry. I find them very efficient. You'll rarely be in a holding pattern in German airspace. Bramshire, you says, sorry if you've been asked already, are we new to the performance calculators release? Yes, this week, hopefully by the end of this week, barring any major problems. There's two things that we are adding this week. One is the maximum flex temp, which we've spoken about and seen is not coded in just yet. And the other one is just the runway contamination, the runway... what's it called? Condition. That's it. So dry, wet, contaminated, etc. That's going to be added in, and then we should be good to go. Albino 65. I don't use Rex Weather Force. No, I'm afraid. I'm on default weather. HD, yeah, 5 or 6 pilots and engineers all on board, including some Air New Zealand pilots. The angle of attack stall tests need to be done above flight level 250 for obvious reasons. They did it at 5,000 feet. They got no room to play with, had they? Trying to complete those tests on the fly, bless them. So, 500 feet to go, and we'll be at the top of our cruise. I do love this. I don't know why, I just, yeah, I do like this. It's neat. Oh, I've no Wi-Fi signal. So, are we doing... which arrival? Dun, 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 dun. It's the Paulig 1 Golf. Let's pin that. HD minimum flex is already in. Yeah, minimum flex is in, so had we been really, really heavy and in terrible weather, we'd have been okay. That would have come up and that should have shown working. And we're on 1, 2, right, number 4. There we go. And I'll pin the taxi charts as well. Is it that one? I think it is that one. That's the main terminal just there. There we go. Lots of remote parking stands at this this airport, isn't there? Right, we should now be at cruising altitude. There we go. Flight level 390 alt cruise. So I wonder where we're heading down. Let's see. Let's zoom in on our pin charts for Navigraph. So we do have constraints to muck around with here. We've got, so at Paul we should have 280 knots and flight level 2624. Let's have a look. We need to make sure all of these are correct now. Well, that's interesting. It's not actually got anything in there, has it? No. So max speed there then. Let's put it in 280 knots. And that is in the descent, and the altitude constraint, let's put it, where have you gone? Let's put in flight level 240. We'll err on the side of caution and go for the lower one. There we go. Land O'Lakes, you've been a member for 7 months now. Thank you so much for that. And you love the new EFB, no need to take off the VR headset. Yeah, another reason why it's good, isn't it? Okay, what's the next constraint along the path? At Charlie Zulu Mike, max speed's 2.5. Is that in there? That's already in there. And we want to be at... we're on the 1 Golf, so we need to be 2,000 feet and 200 knots at Elino. 2,000 feet, 200 knots at Elino. (2,000 feet, 200 knots at Elino). Yeah, altitude error of 11,000 feet near enough, so something's not working right there. And I think it'll probably be to do with these speed constraints. There is an easier way to check the constraints, and that's just use the navigation display. Quite right too. Just wondering if we can add any more in here. So 12,000 feet, let's add, instead of it being above, let's add that as at 12,000 feet for UN 518. So let's change that. Instead of it being above, let's add it in there. And we've got a speed constraint there of 220 knots at 511. 220 knots is right, and 9,000 feet. So we'll give it a moment to work itself all out and see if these constraints can be adhered to and where the top of descent would be. Top of descent is showing there is around 120 miles away. Now, looking at the chart here, if we're aiming for 9,000 feet at Uniform November 511, well, let's do a little bit of mental arithmetic. We're at 30. Are we at 39,000 feet, or are we at? Yeah, 39,000 feet. So obviously 30,000 feet to lose. 30 multiplied by 3 is 90. We've got to slow down as well looking at that. So let's just add 10 knots for that. So call that 100 miles. 100 miles from Uniform November 511. Let's see what happens. Remember, of course, the winds aren't actually taken into account yet here. So even if I entered them, it wouldn't make any difference. Funnily enough, what wind have we got? Bit of a tailwind. We'll leave it at 100 miles for now. Oh, look at that! So actually, where I've calculated it is after where the aircraft has calculated it. That's nice to see. I'm happy with that. Really happy with that. So now if we just pop that onto plan mode and flick through some of these as HD's just suggested, we've got 240 there, 28 knots, and if we just zoom in a little bit more, because otherwise we're not going to be able to see them all. There you go, 250 knots, 220 knots, 6,000, 12,000, 6,000. Yeah, okay. That's looking nice. Jack of 1N, when you fly the 320, the newest version, your start altitudes are set too high. How are mine looking? So the start altitude should be hard-coded in. What you may have are some altitudes that say plus, which means you obviously need to be above. So it's just making sure. That's why now you've got to go through the charts, make sure that they are exactly the same as what you've got in here. This bit's concerning me slightly. I'm not sure what's going on here. 518 says we're going to hit the constraint of 12,000 feet there, but then it's telling me I'm going to be at flight level 234 12 miles later. Not convinced about that. We'll see what happens. That might change as we go. I mean, not quite sure what these are either. And I think it's because it's telling us that you need to be above. If I go in and hard code those to be at rather than above, so 6,000 feet at 519. So instead of being above 6,000 feet, let's be at 6,000 feet at 519. 4,000 feet at 514. You shouldn't have to do this, of course, because we've got a hard constraint coming up a little bit after that. HC says, right, dare you to leave it in managed descent and manage speed all the way down to 2,000, see how it behaves. With no ATC, you're on. Tells me I'm going to miss them all. We'll see. What the heck is that little deviation there? Alright, I'm hard-coded in. Everything looks okay. We'll see what happens. Where's that top of descent gone? There it is. So we're about 80 miles away. So HG just said as well, when the constraints are at or above, you'll often cross them above, which is perfectly normal so long as you stay on profile. That's fine. I think the problem with the sim and the way that it's obviously still being fine-tuned is that it tells you that it's going to, as you saw there, it told me the one where we needed to be at or above 6,000 feet, it told me I was going to be flight level 240. Obviously, I don't want that. Jerry, good evening. What am I doing some live streams in Finland in the near future? We did do quite a few a while back in Finland, particularly over the winter time. So they have been done, but obviously we will return there. We'll return there soon. HD, hardest thing you'll ever do: sit on your hands and don't touch it. Shall we see what happens? We'll see what happens. Right, I don't know the airport. We're 80 miles away or so. Well, actually, yeah, we're 80 miles away from top of descent. Let's work out what we're doing. So, we know what we're meant to be doing. And ultimately, we want to be a Lino, 200 knots. And then we'll continue on to Ebmis. We are on the Pauleg 1 Golf, so it is 2,000 feet at Ebmis for us. In fact, I need to check that one's right. I'm sure that one was. Make sure that's in there. Ebmis, 200 knots, 2,000 feet. Yep. So that's done. The plan is in terms of how we're going to configure then. Well, obviously we need to be 250 knots here at Cozumel. And then, are we going green dot at uniform 511? What's our speeds? No, we don't need to be at green dot. I think we're going to keep the speed up to that max 220. That's just reminded me. Let's send some weather off, shall we? There we go. So that's sent off. We'll wait for that to come through. So 220 knots here at 511. As we leave 511, so we'll get a beam the airport. We'll pull green dot. We'll get flaps 1 then by the initial approach fix. We'll leave it in flaps 1. We then make a right hand turn. And at Evmis. And then from the base, we'll come in and capture the glide slope. To be honest, we've got mandatory. Look at this. This is not like Europe. So mandatory altitude of 2,000 feet at 540, which is here. So we're going to hold 2,000 feet. We're actually going to hold 2,000 feet for quite a while. No continuous descent here. 2,000 feet for quite a while. So we're going to see that glide slope come in. Step down approach, and then mandatory 1,300 feet. You know what, if we were able to capture the glide slope, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to. I mean, that's a 3.8 mile final and a mandatory platform altitude of 1,300 feet. Okay, it's different. Well, it's not, is it? It's just different to what we're used to. What's the transition altitude here? Another high one, 18,500 feet. MSA is 2,000 feet, very low level around us, so no terrain to concern ourselves with. I'll check the METAR in a minute, but I think we're good. at half a... it's going to be above half a mile, so I'm going to say we are going to be sticking with that. 220 feet. ILS frequency is all the ones. Elevation is 20 feet. Missed approach is a right-hand turn, 3,000 feet to Fields. And enter the hold. HD says Phil, CDA that bad boy. I'm presuming, I mean, would they be able to? It's when you see words like mandatory, you think, oh shucks, well I'd best be there. But if you're going to be 2,000 feet here, you've got no chance, have you? Yeah, descend at 50 feet a minute, you might just make it. What are we doing when we've landed? That's a nice long runway. Do you reckon we'll get off at Charlie 6? No, probably not. Charlie 5. And then we'll backtrack on ourselves. Should we go for Terminal 2? Sounds like a good shout. Right. We've done our brief. HD, the question is, are we all going to the Coco Bongo after this? that really reminds me of The Mask. What a film. Never seen anything like that when I was a kid. If air traffic control said cleared for the approach, it's fair game. I like it. Weather. So, 7 statute miles, wind is 13016. QNH is... where is it? Oh, 3000, and the temperature is 29 degrees. Lovely. And if there's no air traffic control online, it's even fairer game. I'm chucking it in managed descent. See what happens. What was the wind? 130 at 16. Oh, might feel that a little bit. And that barrow of 220 is applicable. HD asks a good question. I don't know the answer to this. So, is the altimeter 3000 or is it 30.30? Oh no, I see what you're saying. I've just had a brain fart and put it in wrong. Try again. No, HD, you didn't misread it. I messed up. I don't even know how you set this thing to read in hectopascals. Not hectopascals. The other one. How do you set the standby? I've got the European version here. Right, we're getting closer and closer to our top of descent. Gandhi, I am feeling much better. Thank you so much for your concern. Christian, you have to change the EFB options for the standby, dear. Oh, do you? Oh, I ain't doing that. I'll forget to change it back for the next flight. So I'm going to leave that where it is. Star Lugo, thank you for becoming a channel member. Welcome to the Captain's Club, Star Lugo. Really do appreciate that. If you're on our Discord server, of course, don't forget to get yourself into our VIP room. And, of course, you'll also have early access, beta access to the SimSmart A320neo Performance Calculator. So that'll be waiting for you there as well when you do. But really kind of you, Star Logo, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. HD says, oh, you calculate it, it'd be 1016. How do you even know that, HD? When do you ever have to use that? Wow, that's a nice landscape down below, isn't it? Very different. You don't see that in Portugal. Christian says if it shows 1022 is 2992, it's certainly broken. Yeah, well, we all know that, don't we? We know that 2992 is 1013. You just know that. That's the standard. Anything else? Forget it. HD says it reminds me of a British air traffic control going on at London Heathrow. He said to an American, descend 3,000 feet, QNH 1009. American said, could we have that in inches, please? ATC came back and said, American, descend 36,000 inches, QNH 1009. Excellent. Right, we're meant to be going down. I've missed our top of descent. Damn it. Thrust idle. Descent. And 240 magenta. Down we go. Come on, catch up. I wish I'd not missed that now. Too busy reading anecdotes. Should I give it a helping hand, just with a little bit of spoilers, just to start with?
Area area traffic American 1549, flight level 370, descending now down to 240 initially, following 1 call for arrival into Cancun.
All the aircraft needs to do is it just needs to target a higher speed. If it would just target that higher speed, it wouldn't have an issue. And Cancun traffic, Volaris 210, currently 36 miles from Madrid. Expecting the Poly 1 Golf arrival.
Traffic.
Oh, crumbs. HD, not HD. Dark, you sure you're going down? Where are you? You should have made that 360. Anyway, TCAS Blue. That's what I should have said.
Climb.
Ah.
Area traffic American 1549, TA advisory, sending Mercy descent.
And TKSRA currently climbing.
Level off.
Well, that's just screwed my profile. And we're back to descending 1,000 feet per minute. We just heard VS 1000.
American 1549, clear of RA, continuing descent.
I'm now 5,000 feet too high. Do you know what? Now is a good time to practice and see something. Alright, I'm going to pull the heading book. Volaris 210 is going to make a 360 degree turn just so you can get ahead of us, and then we'll continue descent. Right, I'm going to pull the heading book and I'm going to spin it all the way around. Let's see what happens. And I want to come back to about 036. Ah, did I? Hang on a minute. I think I oversteered it. I thought that was going to work then. No, it's not. It's not. Is it going to do it? Is it going to continue turning left? Yes. Yes, it is. You just saw the blue triangle there. Yeah, it did work. The first time round, the problem was I spun it too far, so it ended up catching up with the track we were on. I then went right again to correct it, but obviously then it saw the correction, so it started to go right. So that was me just oversteering a bit. But it worked. That is the main thing. So what we were chatting about earlier, testing it out, it works. We'll just sit and enjoy the view then for an orbit, shall we? That's just added 5 minutes to my flight time. That's a good point, HD. We'll go open descent because at the moment, after the TCAS, we're just descending back at 1,000 feet per minute. So that's thrust idle, that's open descent. And let's get... Oh, we can't go back manage yet until we're on our way around, obviously. Duh, because although we should be able to go manage speed, shouldn't we? Why can't I go manage speed? See the profile now, slowly getting back on track with that. Small bug there, I can't go into manage speed. Right, let's go back direct to Marid so I can get it back in nav mode. And nav, speed, descent, 240 magenta. There we go, now I'm in managed speed. So now that we're below the profile, what I would expect to see is us resuming our descent but at 1,000 feet per minute. Because we're now below the profile by 5,000 feet. But anyway, Dark Fury should be well out of the picture now. There we go, descending 1,000 feet per minute. May just need to give it a bit of a helping hand going direct to Married, otherwise I'm going to go and try and follow this track line if we're not careful. Yeah, and as HC's just said as well, it's now pulling back on the speed because we're below the profile, so it's targeting the bottom of the magenta gate. Once I'm turned towards Married, I'm going to just pull heading for a moment and then go direct again. Peter, try running the... I've forgotten which one it is now. There's obviously the setup and then there's actually the main program. Try running the main program instead of the setup, and I think it works. I can't remember if Christian can remember which one it needs to run. It won't be that difficult for the main program once it's released. This is just the beta version that's got a bit of an issue at the minute. Right, so I just had to pull that, so 1,000 feet per minute, that's fine. Let's go back now and tell it to go to Married from our current position. That should draw a nice straight line, get us in nav mode. Did it not want to do that? No, it's wanted to take me back on that track line, isn't it? Tell you what, let's go direct to Paul. They're next to each other anyway. That'll do. Okay. Managed everything. And according to the navigation display, our intercept point should be around 20 miles away. And I can't see dark on the TCAS anymore, so that's good. Well, that was a nice little deviation. We managed to get a flight test in there. Don't think it used to do that, but it does now. Try and will you get SimSmart if you donate? No, SimSmart will be released later this week, all being well. The early access and beta version has been available to the channel members, the middle and higher tier channel members now for a couple of months. But the official release should be a little later this weekend. HD, now the next test, fuel balancing. We tried that once before, remember? Didn't go as planned. So in theory, we've got everything programmed into the box correctly. Everything's programmed in the box correctly. And we should be able to just leave it in manage mode all the way down. Almost to the ILS intercept. It's going to be interesting. That is a major test. Danny HD was asleep, but the excitement's woke him up. Vilshesh, good evening. Right, so we're now at alt constraint. So this is at Paul. What's our next one? Oh look, and we're starting to appear on our chart map. It's quite neat, isn't it? Okay, so this is the next sector. Interesting that the VDEVs already started disappearing. What was our speed constraint at this point? Was it 288? 280? Yeah, it was. Okay, thrust idle, descent. Down we go to flight level 120 magenta. We should be at 180 knots here. Maybe speed constraints aren't hard-coded in yet. We're probably going to see this intercept line continue to move further and further and further. Trena, welcome to the Captain's Club. Thank you so much for your support, Trena. If you're on Discord, then get in our VIP lounge. That's where the early access to SimSmart is. And thank you for your support, Trena. Really do appreciate that. Now you see here we're testing two things. One is the ability of VNAV to see how well it does. Can we just remain hands off and let it do its thing? Or the other test is to see how long I leave it before I decide to intervene. I could do with just popping in, I think. I'm just going to pop in Uniform November 511 into here, and I want to be 9,000 feet at that point, so that's 10. To be fair, that's 10 miles away. 10 miles away, 10,000 feet I need to lose in 54 miles. That should be very, very doable. And HC's just said the profile looks good mathematically. Oh yeah, of course. The transition altitude now is much higher, isn't it? So what happens then? 7,000 feet, we're going to be at 10,000 feet, so we're automatically going to start to roll back to 250 knots. There's the constraint there, but I think we're going to hit 10,000 feet before then. Drew, is SimSmart released in the VIP section of Discord? It is. Bear in mind it is the beta version that's available. So it's still the test version. Although it's now getting very close. So I've only been sent one bug in the last week. So either no one's testing it or it's working okay. Now what's going on here? Is it just starting to reduce its speed a little bit? I mean, we're still miles away from that constraint, so I wouldn't have thought it needed to too much. What are we, about 20 miles away? Chrissy says leave it and start to set up a holding pattern just in case. We should have no problem hitting 12,000 feet at 518. It's only 4,000 feet away, 30 miles. Does mean I was concentrating so much on checking this out, will it work, won't it work, doing mental calculations to make sure that we're on profile even if it doesn't think we are. It means that we miss the gorgeous views. Having said that, we're just over water. Maybe not that gorgeous. Let's get back in the fly deck. Drew, welcome to the Captain's Club, mate. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. The Discord VIP room, once you link your Discord to your YouTube account, then the VIP room will open up to you and information is pinned in there. Why are we slowing down to 220 knots? I can understand it targeting 220 knots for this constraint here, but we should be at 2.5. Yeah, just checking. 2.5. Christian, you've tried to break SimSmart really hard this week, but it's worked without issues. Good to know. Nick, you did have a problem with the African airport, didn't you? Right, well this is going to take us forever if we trundle along at 225 knots. Let's set that to 250 knots, shall we? I mean, we're way below. We are way below. But now I've pulled speed 250 knots. We're technically no longer in fully managed mode anyway, are we? Because here comes the next constraint, look. 12,000 feet at 518. Oh, my altitude tape's just become a bit of a slideshow. Oh, there we go. Working in now. Alt constraint. So, what you could do now is we could set a VS speed and try to get 9,000 feet by 511, couldn't we? That work? So, does the blue arrow appear if we do that? The blue level off? I mean, we've got about 30 miles to go and 3,000 feet to lose. So if I did 500 feet per minute and set the next constraint, which is 9,000 feet. So now I've got 9,000 blue. There's the profile. I was hoping to see the blue level off arrow. With care, there should also be a Discord link in the video description as well, if you want to give that a shout, see if that works. HD says you knew I wouldn't be able to help playing with it. Well, wouldn't you? Should have had a bet. Right, I'm going to now put it in managed speed, and I'm going to put it in managed descent. Here comes that vertical where's it gone? It's just jumped from being on profile to being 2,400 feet beneath it. Above it, sorry. Ah, there's that level off. What I want to see is this blue level off here. It's now reducing to the 220 knot constraint. And to be fair, if it did hit 9,000 feet, 220 knots at 511, I'd be rather happy. Oh, all that time messing about. Okay, so we're coming up on 10,000 feet. Let's run our checklist. So approach briefing has been done. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are 220 set. Engine mode selector is normal. EFB is stowed. I now want to get down to 6,000, which is our next constraint. So we've got 9,000 magenta. Still in descent mode. And look, I do like this. This is really neat. It's really going to help with the taxi as well. But how realistic is it, HD? Sit there with an aircraft on your tablet. Good night, Christian, mate. Good to see you as always. So we're just studying these now, really, aren't we? Tell you what, let's wind it all the way down. So this should be the fun bit. My B&B time's getting later and later. I'm blaming Dark Fury for that, by the way. Is that Doc coming in? I can just see him on the TCAS there. Right guys, look at this, look at this. Now we've got sort of the speed constraints all pretty much sorted out. VDEV is coming right on profile. We're at 6,000 feet. How about I don't touch it for the next 10 minutes? I'm disappointed not to see the amber circles disappear off here though, because I don't think we should have any issues hitting those. So we're now out constraint. Not sure if we can see Cancun down there somewhere. In fact, oh, it might be there, look. Might just be able to see the runway. That's our landing runway as well. Okay, now we're descending 4,000 magenta, or at least I hope we're going to be descending momentarily. So if you remember the brief we did, I said Alino will get down to green dot. Flaps 1 as we make the base at EBMIS, and flaps 2 with the glide. Oh. Glad I checked.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Tad concerned about the speed. Oh, where are you going? Yeah, something's not right there. Speed limit exceeded. Damn. Where's my blooming ILS? Right, it tells me I'm going to be 2,000. There's my level off. I still want my ILS. Unless that's not been done yet. Oh, doesn't like me trying to put that in. Can I put the identifier in? Not in the database. Oh, this just became a bit more interesting. Helen Crazy, why hasn't it populated automatically? That is a very good question to which I'm afraid I don't know the answer. I would have expected at 3,400 feet I would have got it in there by now and I'd been able to see it. Okay. Visual approach, anybody? I mean, if I fly this track down to 1,300 feet, which was the platform altitude anyway, I should... Where are we going? Oh, screw you. Thrust idle. Open descent. Get me down. 2,000 blue. I'm going down to green dot. Right, so just in case the glide slopes out, 4 miles is where we should be, about 1,300 feet. Barry, there's an option on the app how to calculate the RAS. There is, you're quite right. No idea where it is though. No, I get below this cloud base, I'll be fine. Famous last words. Flaps 1, speed's checked. Flaps 1. Okay, time to get serious. We'll just point and aim towards the airport, and you know, we've got 2 runways that are generally...
Traffic 427 Charlie Romeo is about 9 miles from MS in about an hour approach, runway 12 left, Cancun traffic.
2,500.
Oh, wonderful. Cancun traffic, Valeris 210, currently 20 miles, establishing now for the ILS on runway 12 right. Speed Alt Star. So 540, we need to be at 2,000 feet anyway. We'll pass 540, get down to 1,300 feet. It's a nice day. Ooh, flap 2 by 2,000 feet. I've not gone below it. Do I still get busted? Flap 2. Speed's checked. And we'll pull speed 180. I'm going to have to remember the 2 by 2 rule. Right, I just need this cloud layer to shift. God, that's a lot of trees. Does this work? How to cheat. So, Uniform November 540 is 12.2 miles out. So beneath the profile, it's unbelievable for this approach. Well, you're not below the profile because this is the profile for this airport, but for any normal airport, it probably wouldn't be this low. Right, there we go. So we're going to head down to 1,300 feet. So 1,300 feet blue, and I'm just going to bring that down at around 400 feet per minute. We don't need to go any faster than that. So, shout up if anybody sees an airport. That would be great. Oh, there you go, actually. There's your level off indicator. That will help quite nicely. At 545, that's where we want it to be. We just need an airport. I was wondering that. So HD's just said we've got the green dot, we could use an ILS. How accurate do you think that is? To be fair, looking at where the level off arrow is, there you go, look at that. We've now got the intercept right on 545. That would be beautiful, wouldn't it? So we've got around about 7.5 miles to run. Let's get everything ready. So landing gear, spoilers, flaps 3, speeds checked, flaps 3. Let's put it into manage speed. Cancun traffic, Volaris 210, established runway 20, 5 mile final. Correction, established runway 12 right, 5 mile final.
Confirm 2012.
Yeah, confirm it's runway 12 right, 5 mile final for Volaris 210.
Right to that. Cancun traffic, Twin Cessna 427.
Flaps full.
Fully established on the RNAV approach, runway 12 left.
RNAV approach. I may have had more success getting that. Right, I can't set the missed approach altitude until I've gone manual. Landing checklists. Cabin is secured. Auto thrust speed. Go around altitude is 3,000 feet. I'm just going to have to keep that in memory. 3,000 feet. ECAM memo. Landing no blue. I need to get through this. I think I can actually see the runway. So I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to set 3,000 feet. Get those off. Daft information.
$1,000.
1,000 feet. Let's look and see if we can see any pappies as well.
500.
Which would help. 500 feet, approach is stable. I love the cutout in the trees where the landing lights are.
400. 300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
A little off centre line that time.
10. 5.
Spoilers are deployed. Reverse green. "70 knots, reverses off. Is that Dark Fury at the gate? Has he changed aircraft?
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until
I'll go
the
and join him.
seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may
Cancun
now
traffic,
be
runway
used.
12 right vacated.
Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your EasyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or EasyJet app.
Right, we'll enter the gate 5 Bravo 5.
421 Charlie Romeo, 10 miles final, runway 12 left.
Welcome to Cancun. Time to go and hit the bars. And stand 34. Get the taxi light off. Why is my anti-ice on? And here we go, as we would expect from Mako Simulations. It is very, very nice scenery. There we go. We'll set the parking brakes. Then they're all done. Have we got the APU up and running? Yes, we do. We'll get APU bleed on then, and then we'll turn off engines 1 and engine 2. Welcome to Cancun, ladies and gentlemen. The temperature is a balmy 29 degrees. Let's get the seatbelt signs off. Beacon light can come off as well. Get some external power connected up. Turn the fuel pumps off. And, of course, set standby for the transponder. There we go. Let's have a quick look outside, shall we? I do like this Volaris livery. I think it looks grand. Oh, so close. So close. Yeah, look at this. It's beautiful. Now, obviously, I don't fly in this part of the world too often, apart from special streams like today. But for those of you that are after a really good holiday destination, long-haul flights in Dreamliners or A350s, or even when the A380 comes along, that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? And I think Aerosoft, they've got an A330 in the making, haven't they? A nice airport such as this, after departing maybe a cold Manchester day, would be just the ticket. would be really, really nice. No price tag that I know of, Danny. However, if it's as per Manchester and Birmingham, both incredibly high quality airports, which you've seen a lot on the channel, I would imagine it's certainly not going to be expensive in the slightest. I hope Dark has got the drinks in, J-Hog, yeah. Causing me to do a 360 and then get in here before me, even though I suppose that is fair. I did depart after him. But yeah. Really nice. Really nice detail, as we would expect to see from MakoSim. Interesting about the ILS. I will have to contact them to see if that's something that still needs coding in. I'm loving that. Is that Corona on the control tower? Yes. Love it. Love it, love it. So guys, thank you very much for joining me on this Mexican special. I hope you enjoyed that. It was quite exciting in places as well, wasn't it? Not always as realistic as possible, but when we're back on our real ops flights, if VNAV's not working, I think we're going to take much more severe action than what we did. Plus, back in Europe at this time of night, we would most likely have a lot better and a lot more air traffic control coverage, so we'll be able to do that as well. Thank you so much to those of you who have recently joined the channel during today's stream as well. A reminder, if you are on our Discord server and one of our middle or higher team members, you do get the beta test version of SimSmart, the A320 performance calculator. Very few things left to do on this now. We just need to code in the runway conditions and the maximum flex. Other than that, I think we're just then sorting out the actual delivery of the app as well. So looking forward to that. More information on the channel when we have it. Please do hit that like button on the way out, and of course, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell for notifications of future streams and of course content. Thank you so much, guys. I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. Good night, everybody. Bye bye.
Cancun traffic on Lake Bear.